What's up, everybody? My name is Hydra. If you guys have never seen my videos or anything like that, I'm a Deity support player. I've played in competitive for a long time. I play a lot of ranked right now. Actually, not a lot of ranked right now. I actually can't stand playing ranked that much right now. But I'm going to be going into Smite Prime this weekend. I'll be playing a little bit more ranked. I also stream over on Twitch. And a lot of people always ask me what I think is good. They come into my chat and ask me what I think is good. And I've put up a couple tier lists in the past, but it's been long enough now to where I feel like they're pretty outdated. So I wanted to just go ahead and make a new one here. Just to kind of explain the tiers here really quickly, S is going to be the best of the best. I don't like having 20,000 characters in S, so I'm probably going to reserve that for maybe the top, like, 3, 4, 5 picks. That won't mean that the A tier picks are, like, significantly weaker than those, like, 3 or 4, or, like, that these 3 or 4 are going to be the only thing that you can be playing. It's just going to be what I think should be basically picked or banned every single game, and that if you get this character, the game is significantly easier for you to win, end up winning it. A tier is going to be pretty good. Definitely like top of the meta. Probably gonna be good every single game. You don't really need to worry about your matchups or anything like that. B tier might be a little bit more situational. Definitely not bad by any metric, but you definitely just can't blind pick it. It's going to have a really strong impact on the game whenever you do get it against the right comp, if that makes sense. C tier is going to be definitely a lot more situational. You might need to build a team comp around this. It will require you to be playing it into a very specific kind of comp, as well as having a certain comp on your side to end up backing it up. And Rip tier is going to be bad. Bad, you should expect to lose SR if you lock this in. You might be griefing, you might be trolling. Yeah, it's just not going to be a very, very good pick in any way, shape, or form. To start off with, we're going to go through, I think, this time we're going to go through any support pick that I would end up playing in a rank setting. Something that I might pull out in the comp set as well. So like some of those kind of more pocket picks are going to be involved on this list as well. First thing to start off with is going to be Achilles. I think Achilles is probably a strong candidate for B tier. Having a 35% execute is just nice. He's one of the only characters that can actually end up feeling pretty strong into some of the ADC choices in the game right now. I do think he's fine as an aggressive, like kind of engaged style support. I think there are a couple supports that do it a little bit better than he does right now. But I feel like his build is a little bit more different. He can kind of just itemize into a lot of prots, play a fight to whittle somebody down, execute them. If he has a good follow-up, then it's going to be very, very good for you to be on cleanup duty with this character. I haven't uploaded a video playing this pick, but I do play it in my off time, so I might actually end up doing that later. Amaterasu. Amaterasu is going to be, C tier probably from support. Non-aspect. You can end up doing like a kind of weird strat where you end up going like Vital Ample as like one of your like maybe like your first health item, also kind of like hybrid damage item. And you just kind of run at the enemy ADC. They really don't box you very well early. You have your passive to help you burn objectives as well, and your stance is going to be very pivotal. Around team fights, giving that extra power, giving that movement speed to chase. Combos very well with reinforced greaves. Not reinforced greaves, regrowth striders. That's what they're called. And war flag. Getting a ton of movement speed, a ton of sustain. But with the regrowth striders nerf kind of coming in, I feel like this pick is a lot less viable than it was. There was a like kind of like Heartwood kind of tech you could do where you could like double stance switch. And like that was kind of interesting, but I don't think she's very, very good. You definitely can play it. It's definitely playable. So if you wanted to try out some Amaterasu support in like your casuals and maybe lower end rank games, feel free. But I don't think she's going to be very, very strong. You definitely need to be mindful about what you're comboing with this character. To cut down on the yapping, though, let's kind of go to Aphrodite. Aphrodite, she's solid. I fear she kind of gets cooked by something I'm going to put on the list later. She's good. Her healing amount's not really substantial anymore, and her utility's pretty high. In a game where maybe your ADC wants to be buying a shell, and you still want to have them have a pair of beads, and then you also, want to just maybe combo with like a Sunder and a shell, Sunder or shell, either one. Having Aphrodite to just basically be another pair of beads and having a really good range engaged with that stun, isn't a bad idea. So she's definitely playable. It's just gonna be depending on like if the enemy team has very certain characters and if your team has very certain characters. Your team less so, more so about the enemy. That's why I'm pretty comfortable putting her in B tier. Next, Apollo. I think Apollo's A tier. This character has more CC than most Guardians, as Mez is the Mez duration is longer than most CC in the game that you can get from a Guardian kit. Yeah, I've seen a Master ban Afro. Yeah, I mean Afro's good. She is solid. But Apollo's going to be bringing you pressure. He scales very well off of health items, item health. And in case you guys haven't seen the item store, every tank item that you can probably click on and look at has health on it. So he can build basically anything that any tank wants to be building, and still have very, very good damage, very good sustain, in his kit. I think this character was kind of shunted out of the meta, air quotes meta, because the next guy we're going to talk about kind of ruins him. But I think that's just like spoiler alert. This character's been broken for like 11 patches and like nothing ever happened. So it's just whatever. Whenever Apollo support first dropped, I was playing in a league, and my teammates asked me, I think it was Stewie. He was like, "Hey, do you play Apollo support?" And I said, "No, I really don't. But Ares is broken right now. Give me Ares." And then they were like, "Maybe." And then we won the set 2-0 because the god's been broken for like ever. This character's still pretty good though. If the Unkillable God King is banned, you can definitely look to play him. Talking about the Unkillable God King, I'm going to make this really quick because I feel like if you guys watch my videos and you watch my content, you understand why this character is strong. Ares, he neuters most of the cast. He kills most mobility. He has 2 cripples in his kit, on his ultimate and in his 1. He can also pull through displacement immunity right now, which I'm pretty sure is a bug. So most of the counterplay, like Loki 3 or Anubis 1 or Guan Yu 3, to try and immune that ultimate without having to burn CC immunity, is no longer viable. It actually just doesn't work anymore. That's the whole reason he's banned in comp right now. This character puts out insane amounts of damage. If you can hit your chains, then you're definitely just melting people on this character. Has great clear pressure, has great lane pressure, has great team fight potential. Obviously forces a talisman purification or at least a lot of beads. The character's great. The character's fantastic. And until they kill his numbers on his 2, which makes him literally unkillable in the late game, he has so much sustain. Until they kill that ability, I fear he's going to be very, very good for a very, very long time. Let's see. Athena. I am an Athena hater. I think this character rewards people for not playing the game correctly. So, like, if you are a player that is reactive in the way you play support, you want to wait for them to, do a rotation. You're going to wait for them to rotate, and then you're going to ult over after, right? You're going to wait for someone to maybe step out of position so then you can taunt them, right? This character is really, really good in that sense. She has a big fuck off AoE shield. Well, I guess AoE being like she can target one person, give them a massive shield, land there, and then kind of dump her kit. I think this character is fine, but she's very situational. I don't like giving up lane pressure, and I think she just kind of does, especially like some of the better picks in the game. Is this a support tier list or a tier list overall? It's going to be a support tier list for OB17. I realized I scrolled down too low, so the title wasn't there. So my bad. Overall, she's going to be fine. Very easy character to play as well. So again, like in ranked, in lower end comp, in lower end ranked as well, in casual games, that's going to be a very good barrier for people to kind of like get into the role and stuff like that. So I do think she's actually going to be really, really good there. Next, we're going to talk about Bacchus. Bacchus is going to be A tier. So I will. This might be a hot take. For some people might be thinking like a Bacchus A tier, but like Afro's B. Like I'm gonna kind of break down my thinking here, right? Bacchus has anti-heal built into his kit, so any sustain's gonna be a little bit less effective against him. That's not why you're picking this guy, though. You want to lock in this character with Aspect. I have some YouTube videos on my channel already kind of highlighting what Bacchus Aspect does, but in case you guys are unaware, Bacchus's 1 scales off of protections without his aspects, and it doesn't give you like cleave autos, and it only lasts for the next auto you attack as. With Aspect, you lose all of that prot scaling, it turns into strength scaling, but then you end up getting cleave autos for a duration. The cleave autos for a duration are stupid. It is very, very strong. You end up clearing like faster than ADCs with like a single item. You're going to be like a gigantic pressure bot. You end up maxing the 1 for the amount of free stats it will give you. You still have your flop, which is a hard CC. You don't care about the damage it's doing. You have your channeled stun. You don't care about the damage it's doing. It's just still going to be a great CC. And then you're going to be putting points into your ultimate after. Because guess what your ultimate does? It also gives you free stats. If you end up maxing your 1 and having a couple points into your ultimate, with a build that I'm going to be uploading later today. I think the video uploads in like 30 minutes. So take a look at that video for you. You'll be able to 1v1 literally anybody. I did a scrim against Kaidon for Prime. Kaidon stepped up for like 2 seconds and got blown up. It was very, very funny. This character is pretty good. He has some really bad matchups that are not like supports. He has some comps that you probably can't play him into, but you just need to be mindful about playing him into those comps. Most of the time, you'll be fine just kind of locking in this character blind. Next is gonna be Baron. I've never been a big Baron fan. You guys can kind of check out my tier list. I think this god is punished by his lack of mobility. Regrowth Striders is kind of the item that kind of makes or breaks his character's kind of slipperiness. He has good team fight value. But I still think he's fake. I don't think he's really that good. I feel like people were abusing Aspect on him because Aspect has been bugged for a billion years and people were just pumping out damage for free. I think I got found because the Reddit post was like, how's this guy doing 5k damage to me and he has like 80 int, stuff like that. Water break. Anyway, I think Baron without Aspect is fine. It brings like control CC, but I feel like if a team knows how to punish a Baron that steps up and tries to hit his kit, if he is full damage or full tank, and literally like in any role, the character just kind of dies and blows up. So with Aspect right now though, he does a lot of damage, but like that's comp banned, so I'm not going to be talking about Aspect. I think he's okay. It's whatever. You can pick him with some counter matchups in mind, but I don't think he's very, very good. Bellona is going to be C tier. Common trend here, I think, with some of the warriors here. I think she's okay. They took away her ability to gain block stacks on minions, which was actually a big part of her support Bellona tech. When you could max the 3 or max the 1. But she's gonna be okay. She's like an anti-ADC support. I guess you could like itemize into a little bit more damage, maybe like a Sanguine Lash, Umbral Link kind of build, but like, you could probably try to kill somebody here. Maybe like something like a Barb Carver last item or something like that would be kind of silly, but either way, she's gonna take some building around, right? Unless your name is I Eat Phones, you're probably not locking this character in blind. It's just gonna be a bit harder for you to find some success with it. Arrow's Bow kind of got neutered in the healing pass as well. It doesn't really heal that much anymore, so it's gonna be a little bit rougher for the item. The item god combo that she was kind of known for in support. Cabrakan can be A tier. Fantastic lockdown. He's one of those very few engaged supports, and he has walls. Walls are going to be very strong in this game. If you can make the enemy team buy shell for you, that's just less Sunders on the side of them. A lot of backlines want to be going beads or Aegis. Junglers want to be going beads or Aegis. If the only Sunder in the game is going to be on the enemy solo laner, then you're more than happy with that in support. That means that you can end up trying to pressure out the enemy duo lane, pressure out the jungler, and then you can just rip an objective on cooldown. If they have shell and you have Sunder, you just get the objective for free. He's really good into immobile mages in the duo lane, so like Bari, Agni. I call Agni and Bari immobile, but like he just locks him down with this wall and his cripple. He's going to be a really good pick for pressure. Cerberus. Like B tier, maybe he's A tier. I don't want to be a hater. He's probably better than the people I have in B tier. I'm gonna put him A tier for now, but if someone told me he's B tier, I wouldn't be mad at it. Cerberus has pressure, has a good ultimate, has a great ability to end up engaging, shredding a lot of protections with this too. His ultimate, this is all gonna be without Aspect, by the way. His Aspect's dog shit. No pun intended, because he's a dog, I guess. But Cerberus, without that Aspect, is going to be able to ult people that do not have that beads. Often going to be maybe a jungler, going to be a support player, going to be a solo laner as well. Ulting them and then throwing them back into their team, creating a large amount of distance. The second he does that, your team's dive can end up diving on the people that are left, that have expended their beads, and then your backline that you're leaping into can end up shredding the person that you've kind of thrown into your enemy team, or into your team. So he has a really good what's the word for it? Like a good tempo, a good play cycle, really good rhythm, I guess. Very easy, I think, to get used to and get used to playing. I think he's really easy to get value with, but he's also easy to shut down. If you fall behind on this character, he's gonna feel miserable. But that's the case for, I feel like, every support in the game. So I don't want to kind of keep that against him. He's not gonna be just a snowball character. I do think he has some really good utility as well. So definitely keep him in mind when you're playing your games. I'm not gonna do Cupid because I think Hunter support's a troll. With that being said, Don Zaburo support gonna go to B tier. This character, guys, I have a video on YouTube. Like I've been a truther of this for a minute. I haven't played it in comp yet, so I literally cannot justify putting it in A tier. Guys, this pick is valid. This pick is actually good. Has that jug CC that's going to be non-DRable on that taunt CC on the jug. Has that money back for clear and just more gold generation as well. So he actually farms a little bit better than other supports as well. Going to be a slow immunity and a damage reduction in his 3, and obviously that going to be that ranged stun that he has that will end up tracking through invis if you let it autopilot as well. Going to be really good to kind of weave into a fight. Good kind of anti-dive ultimate as well. It has an intoxicate on his money bags. When you start listing up the amount of CC and utility that this character has, you're like, oh man, like this is kind of nice. You can end up building like a Rigo Strider's Heartwood Charm build. You can end up going double jug. If you double jug somebody, they get taunted for like legit 6 seconds. They just end up not moving. On top of them being slowed, it is very, very silly. You can end up going an Avenging Blade build. There's a couple different builds you can do. A Triton's Conch build because he has hybrid scaling anyway. So there's a couple different builds you can do. All of which will be involving cooldown. This character is going to be very, very silly. I recommend trying him in maybe a casual game first just to kind of get used to it. But definitely give it a try. In your rank games, in your lower end comp games, in your higher end comp games, because we've seen it win there already. Definitely give it a try. Next, going to be Fenrir. I think Fenrir might be B tier. Because there's so many things in the game that he hates playing into, maybe even C tier. I'm going to put him in C tier. I love Fenrir, by the way. I think I have 3 stars on Fenrir in Smite 2. I had way more in Smite 1. I love this character, but he doesn't do enough right now. His aspect is a pretty good utility slow. It stacks with the Avenging Blade slow because Avenging Blade will proc on the Brutalize. You don't need to actually auto-attack to proc it because Brutalize counts as an auto-attack. So you can get like a 55% slow in your Brutalize that also shreds 15 prods, has flat pen on it because Avenging Blade does that, I guess. But then you need cooldown to end up being relevant. They're going to go Talisman Purification first item to try and, ruin your game. There is a strategy, though, where you end up just going Sunder, and you tell your ADC to, start a jungle starter, and you run at the enemy jungler, and you Sunder their speed buff, and you terrorize them for the first, 10 minutes of the game. If you do that, then A, you're a jerk, but B, you'll also print free SR in your rank games. If you get, an ADC to duo queue with you and just say, hey, man, just go a jungle starter, drop your first purple, I'm going to go make their jungler miserable, and then you just play it through, the mid 3v3, and they'll have a level 1 jungler, you'll have a level 5 or 6 jungler. It's going to be, whatever. You might be level 1 or 2 for a long, long time, but you have mobility. You're you, so it's all good. I do think there's some tech with this character that's kind of been, not tested yet, but, I can't recommend him in good faith. Ganesha. Ganesha going to be A tier. I think Ganesha's fine. I feel like, again, he's an anti-fun god, right? A lot of characters that are good in the game right now, like Susanoo, Hunbats, Nemesis, hate seeing this character get locked in. But you know what else they hate seeing get locked in? Ares, and Ares can kill them. Ares is Ganesha, but Ares has kill threat. Ganesha is going to be a very high utility god. He's a very flexible god in his playstyle. He can, help the dive. He can end up being hyper peel. He can, just flip between one or the other in the middle of a game. He's a thorn in the side for most characters to end up dealing with. I do think he's already very extremely good. Just very, very utility focused. I think he lost a lot of damage on that aspect as well, so he's not going to have that multi-role viability they had before, which made him, I think, so oppressive a couple patches ago, for sure. I think it's going to be the right term for it. So I do think he's still a very, very good support. You can still definitely end up climbing if you end up playing him. And he's not getting banned a lot right now because we have other things that are way more horrible in the meta to end up banning. So I do think he's getting through a lot. Geb. Guys, I hate Geb. But I fear Geb isn't C tier. Geb has a good team fight. He's good in the crit. And crit gets built sometimes, I guess. His shield is very good. He has a great amount of CC. If you can play him aggressively, then, it has a really good aggression. The only bad part about this character is his laning. His lane phase is, actually horrible. As much as I hate this character, there is merit to playing this character. I think... Okay, genuinely, though, in good faith, I don't think I can put him higher than C tier. Because if we think about the way I broke down the tiers earlier, I feel like you need to play him with certain matchups on the enemy team, and you need to keep your team in mind as well. I feel like it's fair if I put him in C tier. There's a character I'm gonna put in Rip tier, and he's definitely not worse than that character. I was thinking about it, but I was like, oh, like let me think about it. Guan Yu might be the craziest fall off in Smite 2 history. This character does fucking nothing anymore, man. Like, I think I'd rather see Geb than Guan Yu. I'm gonna say it. Aspect Guan is useless. The heal doesn't do anything anymore. The cooldown resets aren't enough. They've nerfed it too much. He used to have the utility of resetting active item cooldowns, relic cooldowns and stuff like that. They removed that in the first nerf that they did to him. He's been like nothing but nerfed since he came out for support. So like this character, like if you're locking in this character, what is it doing? Like I love Guan Yu. I have a Radiant Guan Yu. I played him a ton. I was a very big proponent of this character that was broken for the longest time. But you know what's crazy is that now I think the psyop has worked. Like Weekend was gaslighting his entire community to think this character was bad. Now they got their wish. The character's actually bad now. There's no reason to lock in this character. There are going to be picks on this list that are going to look troll. That I'm probably gonna put like C tier, maybe B tier, that do more than Guan Yu right now, and that is so sad for me to say. He just doesn't do anything, and that's so sad. Hades. Hades is going to be C tier. You can probably play this pick. I like this pick specifically as a Bari counter pick. If Bari ever gets locked in, you can like lock him like with like Bari Yemoja. If that dueling ever happens, you can end up slamming in a support Hades. And they can't move. They actually just can't play the game. So if your jungler comes over and ganks them, they both just die. Because again, Bari 3 gets interrupted, you can just silence it in the middle of it. Yemoja, Riptide gets pulled back in Hades Vortex, so they can't get out of that either. You can end up going Sunder or Shell. You can ignore Shell because you have a dash, so you can say, hey, like, good luck teammates, good luck everybody else kind of thing. It's interesting. I think it's probably fine. The thing is, Hades feels bad full damage. He also feels bad full tank. So you need to play him as like a high cooldown, CC bot. He has the longest duration silence in the game right now, minus Ansile. But you can also build Ansile on this guy and just make your silences go crazy. You can silence and then wait for that duration to end and then 3 somebody, and also proc it with the silence, and then you can just make them not play the game for a long time. You can also silence on your ultimate so they can't dash out of it or relic. So a lot of things you can do there. A lot of interesting tech there. But I'm not going to recommend this to the general public. Hecate, though, you're going to be a little bit better. I think this kind of... I hate the term Enchantress support. I hate that term. But it's accurate here, I guess. She is like a mage. Hate the term, but it's kind of fitting. I think this character is pretty good. I think this character is only as good as the player behind it. I think Lifebinder, because you can proc that on her shield, is going to be pretty decent. You could also just go a pretty high cooldown version as well. Unironically, I do still like running the aspect of Hecate on her in support. I experimented with, playing her like with a more like kind of hybrid style, no aspect as well. I'm going to be honest. I think her aspect's fine in Conquest. Like it's the only mode where it's not nerfed. The damage on it's like fine, but you can end up proccing, like you can go like Prophetic Cloak and stack it very easily with their aspect, because if the enemy team plays the game near you, they just stack it for you. You can use Ansile, and then whenever you like throw your 2, you can Ansile it during a siege, and that means every single shot of your 2 will be able to proc Ansile on the god that it hits, which is so funny, by the way. You can proc Ansile on your 3 when you let someone dive, so they just don't do anything. You could also I guess you could Ansile the ultimate, I guess. So a bunch of like interesting, really cool tech you can do with Ansile on this character. I'm a big Ansile fan, in case you couldn't tell today. But this character I think is actually going to be pretty decent. Maybe same amount of viability as Aphrodite, maybe a little bit less so. No, actually, maybe more. Maybe I'm like kind of hyping her up a little bit, too much. But I think I'm down to do that. Hercules. This character dies to walls, I think. He has bad matchups into most of these characters as well. Like Ganesha, he can't play the game. Cerberus is he has a fine matchup into Cerberus, but Cerberus also just kind of outtrades them. Yeah, all these matchups above him are better. Not gonna be a bad character though. I think he's gonna be fine. If you can hit your 2, which in Smite 2 it's so easy to hit your pull on Hercules, then you just 2 and then auto people until they beads. And the second they beads that, then you can start 2-1ing them, and then they'll probably just die. Or you can one in and then like you can like walk up to them, turn around, one them into your wave, and then two them back to your wave. Like you can do a lot of silly stuff here. If the ADC is like not comfortable like laning against this pick, it's gonna be very very good. Hua Mulan, horrible. Um, this character saw viability for all of like 2 days, maybe. Reddit was calling her broken because Rigor Strategist was like able to proc on her too, and like it was just very very silly. Character newsflash is still gonna be horse meat. Until they drastically change the item shop and like rework her +1 with like the flag. She's not gonna be viable. I'm sorry, it's just so sad. But like this character's like just useless. And she's just like I think jungle's her best role, and you don't want to jungle Mulan. With the state of jungle right now, like every other jungler, I think it's just better. Let's see. I'm not gonna put people on the stun bats. Stun bat support. I'm not gonna do it. But if you want to play Hun Bat support in like a casual game or something, try it out. It's pretty funny. I mean, I guess we can just talk about Yorm. Yorm is okay. On patch day, Yorm may have been A tier. Golden Blade Yorm was bugged. It was killing things a little bit too quickly. I have a couple YouTube videos kind of highlighting my journey with Golden Blade Yorm. This was funny. Then support aspect drops. I do think there's a world where we do end up seeing a support aspect Yorm in support. The character has an invis. He has a knockup on his 3 that is basically damn near unmissable. It's a AoE knockup. It knocks him up the height of a Bacchus flop. He has a good disengage as well, so he's an engage support that can disengage basically for free, which is, I don't think, to be understated at all. And he also gives really good mitigation, in a team fight if they're fighting in his pools. But again, he's an engage support. Is that going to be in? Maybe, possibly. If people are good at this character, I think it's going to be really good. But it is still Yorm. In a game where CC is so plentiful and walls are so, abundant, if this character ends up getting like Thorwalled or Yimmer walled off even, he just dies. Thorwall is really bad because if you get Thorwalled and then like double tapped and the team follows up on that damage, you do just pop. I understand they wanted him to be like immune to CC, but they needed him to like have a downside. That downside is really fucking bad. On a frontline role where the only thing that can kill you is you being CC'd and then locked down for an extended duration. If he gets CC'd and locked down, he dies faster than any other tank in the game because of his own like kit. That's like going to be a big design flaw in my opinion to this character. So it's going to make him rough. But I do think with his aspect, if he gets CC'd in his pools, he gets damage mitigation. So maybe the damage increase isn't going to be enough. Maybe I'd like to see. I don't even know what I'd like to see. To maybe pull him up in viability. I think he's fine where he is. He's going to be an edge case pick. But I do think he's better than some of the C tier characters. So I'm going to like leave him in B tier. Capri. Capri's going to be A tier. I'm finally at a point, I think, where like I am not biased enough to warrant putting Capri lower. I think Capri with Mushroom specifically is so strong. His laning phase isn't horrible, right? Like it's pretty weak. Like it's not Geb weak, but it's still pretty weak. But if you end up playing the lane early very well, you can end up getting pressure. A Capri with lane pressure is so scary because then like he hits level 5 first, which means the gank isn't valid on any target in that dual lane anymore, which means the jungler can't play on that side of the map to try and get kill pressure or anything like that. They can still maybe try to cheese you out and kill you, but like it is what it is. A Capri with the health regen mushroom makes his ADC infinitely harder to kill. When he rotates to that mid lane 3v3, the 3v3 is a lot harder to kill. With just that ultimate, yes, but also that 2 and that mushroom pop is going to be giving you like damn near 50% damage mitigation. And obviously the sustain on the mushroom. It's so good. Like if a Capri is on a team and the team has a lead, it is extremely hard to lose the game. If the Capri is even on a team that is even, it is significantly easier for the team with the Capri to win team fights. The conversation comes up to, are you using aspect or no aspect? Me personally, I don't see enough value in the prots persisting after the pluck for 3 seconds because prots are a fake stat and the stat's basically fucking dead. So if they're gonna kill me with you know, like 200 prots are going to kill me with 230 prots in like the same amount of time. You know what I mean? So at least for me, I would rather just keep the damage on aspect. But I do think we're in a spot now to where the conversation's up to personal preference. I do think Kepler's going to be pretty viable now. Pretty viable though. Odin support. Odin support is going to be good. And it's just because he's going to be a really good engaged support. This character is he's stronger in jungle, he's stronger in solo. But let's say you just really want the cage. You really like Yamoja got banned and you want walls. Your solo laner has like a crazy good matchup here. They want something like specific. Your jungler got Susanoo or something, Ares is banned, and you gotta flex this pick, man. Like, it's not a bad flex pick at all. And like that's what I hate. Just because of his cage. The cage is going to have a lot of anti-heal on it, obviously 100% anti-heal, but obviously going to be bringing that lockdown element to team fights. He has a lot of sustain, he has a lot of survivability with his shield, going to be that Raven shield. He's able to step up, engage with that range stun, like, you know, that fucking spear strike he throws. It's going to be a nice range stun, also going to be a slow as well. He has a leap to end up, you know, getting over wall, so it's actually not a bad matchup in the emoji either. Emoji can't get out of there without a shell, so you can actually end up forcing emoji to, you know, to go ban for ban and just say fuck it. Like, you take one wall, God would take the other one. So it's gonna be interesting. I like this character a lot. I do think he's pretty decent in support, but I do think he's stronger in other roles. That's gonna be for sure. Next. Wow, I get to talk about this, bro. Bro, wait. Are we here? Like, oh god. Okay. I don't think this is a crazy take. I think we're at the point where I don't think this is like really a crazy take. Huh. Okay. Okay, guys. Guys, I'm gonna say it. Scylla supports S tier. Scylla support is S tier. It's the Morgan but worse. Okay, but the Morgan's permanently banned from comp Valve. I can't I can't rate her, man. Scylla support is just it's free pressure the character. You get infinite pressure. You don't have a resource to ever worry about. You don't have a mana bar to ever worry about. So less resource management for you there. You get your ultimate so quickly. In a game like Scylla ultimate has no cooldown on aspect, by the way. Every tank item in the game that she could be wanting has good health, it has good mana, has good prots. She could build like a Yogi's necklace and literally whatever other items that she wants, like tally bead, spirit robe, hexstone, like whatever, it doesn't matter. And she'll still do a billion damage. You're doing a lot of damage from the support role. You have a ranged cripple root. You have a gigantic slow field that persists after it blows up and does damage. Also, that's super stupid. You have insane great vision on the 3, which increases in radius when you upgrade it. Like, this character has a bunch of utility, and it's crazy to me that people were sleeping on this pick for so long. Shout out to Speak, Bot Me for just fucking around with this pick for a minute. But I think we're in a spot now where supports don't really have enough that they bring to the table to where if they're bringing this much, then they're just broken. I don't know if I want to see Scylla aspect nerf either. That's the thing, because this pick's actually really fun. But I do think she's very, very strong. Sobek. Sobek's gonna be the next character. I'm gonna put him A tier. It's still Sobek. He ends up going through walls with his ultimate, and walls are going to be very strong right now. He has a Sobexecute, so he counters my favorite god in the game, Khepri. Goodbye. Great CC, great engage, super easy telegraph to play. The only issue is that against good players, you can pluck in and they'll bead you and you'll just die. But against like 99% of the population that plays Smite game, you can just pluck people and they're going to beads in midair. The character's great into bad players, and I hate to say this, guys, but bad players make up the majority of the player base. Like genuinely, like that's not even like a dig at like most players. It's just true. Don't play the character with aspect. The aspect is very, very funny. It is very silly, but it's not good. Pluck a target. Your backline just needs to hit them. You tail whip. You 3. You walk away. You can also just pluck and then ult away sometimes, and then pluck again in the second team fight, and you'll probably just win the game. It's not hard. You can Sunder Secure while you're in your ultimate, so they can't stop you either. You go through walls, you're CC immune. You just pop Sunder while you're just kind of, walking up to the objective. You see it hit 500-ish, health, Sunder it. You steal it every single time. So the character's like definitely not hard to play. I definitely encourage it. What's next? I mean, I guess I could talk about Wukong, C tier. He has good sustain aspect. Wukong, you get a double knockup. Pretty slippery, but again, like not gonna be like insane. You could play him as like a kind of like I'm gonna pick one person to harass the entire game and like Sanguine Lash all over them, kind of support, but not gonna be like the most consistent way to win the game. The Morrigan, I'm gonna talk about her. She's Scylla but harder, and also buggier, and also comp banned until the end of time. The Morrigan is a good character. I love this character. I played this character a billion times in Smite 1, loved her. But she's just so buggy in Smite 2, there's no reason for you to ever pick her up. If you're doing competitive, literally just don't play this character because she's not going to get unbanned until maybe the end of next year. If I had to take a guess, right? Wait, sorry, she's in Rip tier. My fault. Yeah. So if this character was playable, she'd be like here, maybe. And if you were really good at the character, she'd be up here. If she was playable and not buggy and allowed in comp, you know what I mean? But because she's literally just so buggy that you can't play her in comp, sometimes she'll crash a ranked lobby, like she has a billion bugs. You might execute yourself when you transform, just a bunch of random stuff, right? She's gonna go in Rip tier, but it's not because the character's bad. If you want to play her in your casual games, even in your ranked games, put in the work, get good with her, play her with Aspect. There's no reason to not be playing this character with Aspect. That Aspect is very, very, very strong. Very stupid, but very strong. Vulcan. C tier. Whenever your passion starts to wane and the queues feel too heavy for you, lock in Vulcan support. I don't think I have. Oh no, I do have a YouTube video about this pick already. I have a video on this pick if you want to see like a build and kind of like how you should be playing it. I picked, shout out to Mini Delvin for this. I was not having fun with the game for a long time, and he just kind of like, I hit him up and I was like, hey, like I'm not having fun. Can you give me a build? And he gave me a build, and I got this character to like rank 8 or 9 in like 3 days. I spammed it on stream for a long time. The character is really fun. I do think he has some viability for sure. In like a lower end rank setting. Not probably like a comp setting or anything like that, but he is pretty fun. You just get lane pressure with the character, and that's really good most of the time. So definitely have fun with that. We did skip Nem support. I'll go back. Thor support. Probably gonna be the best of the assassin supports, I think. Before Tsukiyomi drops, because I think that character's gonna be omega bloated. But Thor, he has a range stun. He has a has a teleport, a global ultimate that's also a stun on dunking. Thor with or without aspect is going to be pretty viable in the support role as well. I don't think I have a video playing Thor support. I'll put that on the to-do list to upload. So definitely check that out. So I'll kind of go into like how you play, how to play the character, but you're just like another assassin basically. We see the character get picked up at the highest level in Prime. We see him get played in ranked sometimes, lower end ranked, higher end ranked. Lower end ranked is a little bit more grief. But at a higher level, it's actually completely viable for sure. So definitely check out this pick if you haven't played it before. If you're a jungler and you get off-rolled into support, just lock in Thor support, build a tank build, and have fun. Yamoja. Guys, I've traditionally rated this character very low. It's not because the character's bad. It's because it's because players aren't good with this character. If the character, but like, let me be fair here, right? If the player playing this character is good with the character, this character's S tier, right? Even in a rank setting, right? So I think that's like the biggest critique from like my last couple lists where I've rated this character. I'm just like, well, I'm assuming every player that picks her up is bad on her, right? So I'm going to put her in S tier with a caveat. She is difficult to play for the average player, but she's not a hard character. I think she's deceptively hard. Watch a higher level player play this character. I'll upload a YouTube video about this character, and you guys will have gameplay to watch on cooldown. I promise. But like I just find her boring. I played her. I was in Yamoja jail and comp in Smite 1. I just don't think she's fun, but she's very, very good. And if you're killing people, she's very fun. This character like shits out damage. She has a great utility, great sustain. Fantastic wall. It's just like insane, man. So, like, she's a great character. If you are bad with her, she is definitely worth putting the work in right now. She has not been gutted to the point where she was like in Smite 1, like season like 9, where she was like, if you were a Grizzly character, she was still like a mid support. She's still very, very good. Definitely check her out for sure. I'm gonna have a build maybe breaking down this character, but in case I don't upload a video of this character very soon, I'm gonna give a shout out to Dashboard. He was an SCC level support. He uploads content sporadically, but he does have a Yamoja video, kind of detailing how to play this character and how to get better. So definitely shout out to Dashboard. Go check out his content for sure. Yimmer, gonna be the last support I'm gonna end up putting here. I'm gonna put Yimmer at B tier. I think it's a little bit less situational than C tier gods. You do have the Yimmer problem where sometimes you just step up and die. But you also have the Yimmer air quotes problem where you have an 8-second cooldown on your 2, so you end up getting lane pressure in the most matchups, even the good matchups, even the bad matchups. You can end up playing this character at most levels and you'll probably be fine. You can end up freezing somebody and then walking away and they'll beat. You can freeze, wall, and then like just hope your team hits them and they'll probably just die. You can end up going like, you can go like a Skagox, which is like the tier 2 strength axe, as one of your first items. And then build straight prots the rest. And like this is like some ranked demon tech, so this is not gonna be applicable to comp at all. Like at all. But you can end up building an axe like actually like your first item, go straight prots like Spirit Robe, like Hexstone, or like Spirit Robe, I have Providence, like whatever. Like literally just build whatever you need, and you will out trade ADCs because of Yimmer passive. So it's gonna be very funny, I think. So definitely check that out. So I think Yimmer is just like, I see Granted my chat, says I treat Yimmer like I treat Bacchus. I feel like they play very differently because Bacchus's goal is to just kill people. Yimmer in the late game, you can end up playing for like wall setup, trying to catch a good angle. If you get a good wall and they don't have shell, they might just be dead, which is really, really good. Especially like lower mid-level ranks, and I say mid-level rank like up to like Obsidian, like Obsidian 2-ish. If someone steps up out of position and you wall them off and then you freeze them, they might just be dead. You can wall them off and not even freeze them; they might just die because they might not have a leap or anything like that. I'll talk about support Nemesis just because I do play it in ranked. This is a pick where if I lock it in, I'm trying to have fun. Is it better than Mulan? Yes. Is it better than Guan Yu? Yes. Sanguine Lash Nemesis, by the way. You are building the same build that you'd basically be building, minus the Dev's Gauntlet, that you'd be building as Nemesis with Sanguine Lash in the jungle. You just go War Flag, go like hybrid scaling, like kind of prod item or whatever. You can like Golden Blade or something. It just doesn't matter. Triton's Conch or something like weird, something crazy. And then just tank items. Sanguine Lash, Umbral Link. Go Aspect, they can't fight you. You make the ADC side, you make the mid laner side, you make the jungler side because they can't 1v1 you anymore. They can't 2v1 you anymore. They can barely 3v1 you. Heartwood Charm for double shields if you want to get really spicy. Like, it is a very, very fun pick. I do Avenging Blade. Yeah, Avenging Blade's a good shout. You can definitely do that. You do need beads, I think, to play this character as an assassin support, which feels kind of bad. Like, Fenrir can get away with like not having beads because he has CC immunity, but you need CC immunity in your kit. You could go a Magi's, but you need more CC immunity than just a Magi's because they'll just peel that off you. So it is what it is. It's fun. Try it out. I might upload a video of me doing it. I think I have a video somewhere, not a video, but like a VOD of me doing it somewhere, like in a good lobby, so I might upload it or something like that. But yeah. Otherwise, guys, I mean, I put Nem on the list. I'll put Stunbats on the list too, just because Stunbats, it's probably a little bit more viable than her. But yeah, otherwise, guys, I think that's going to be my tier list for support. Dude, like, wow, Scylla support being S tier in the big 25 is crazy to me. Yeah, I don't think there's any insane takes here. If you guys disagree with anything like that, be sure to like let me know in the comments below. I'm obviously open to discussion. Your rank games might be different than my rank games. Obviously, I'm gonna think a lot of the pick viability is going to vary from rank to rank. I play in Demigod Deity lobbies consistently, so this is just kind of what I'm seeing get played and what I'm playing and finding success with. So obviously it will be different from someone that's going to be in diamond or plaid or obsidian, stuff like that. So if you guys have any like input or anything like that, please let me know in the comments below. I'm not going to be changing my list because this is just my opinion. And you guys came here for my opinion, so it is what it is. Either way, I'll catch you guys on the YouTube side later.